Howdy y'all, this is Dylan Turner, and today I want to share with you a little game I've been working on. It's an RPG. The idea is to kind of combine the, um, able to block and jump and stuff aspects of like Mario and Luigi or Paper Mario kind of RPGs with a, what is it called? An active battle combat system, as seen in some of the later Final Fantasies or Final Fantasy games, or like Chrono Trigger, stuff like that. So yeah, let me show you what I have so far. It uses like voxel-graphics because I thought it kind of looked fun. Here's the character, so you can run around, um, you can jump. You'll be able to like jump on enemies and initiate battles. You can see I have an enemy system set up, which uses sort of a component system, even though this is Godot. Let me go ahead and make that bigger. So yeah, you can see the enemies fly around, and you won't notice it because I use the same animation, but it actually, when you enter a battle, enemies have different animations already set up and everything like that. So all of that means I can make enemies and things like that pretty easily. I just model them, write the code, and boom, there you go. Enemy works exactly the same, fits into the system. You can see I have water that actually like flows. I found a free asset on the in the Godot store that has like a water shader. It's kind of janky right now because I didn't really take time to make it look nice. It's just kind of there as kind of a test. And you see I have like physical objects like rocks and things like that. And this little bridge because you can't cross water, right? So you can go across the bridge, stuff like that. So yeah, so that's kind of like the map overworld kind of idea. But you'll see if I enter a battle, I get this battle UI that pops up. I have a little radial menu here. You can see the block and jump buttons. I'm going to have some sort of indicator. So basically, the way that blocking and jumping works in battle is that you can do them at any point, but once you do them, you have a certain amount of time related to an agility stat before you can do it again, right? So you can time a block to block an enemy attack, but you won't be able to block continuously. So some enemies might be faster than you could block, and so you're definitely going to have to take damage. So you have to use it sparingly, use it wisely, things like that. And then you can get better at it. You can upgrade that skill and so on, things like that. That's kind of the idea. Same with jumping. That happens with jumping as well. And then the other thing is for the UI, you have basically three kinds of attacks, and that's the radial menu. So essentially you have a normal attack that has unlimited use, and you can do it whenever. It's kind of your fail safe in case you like run out of magic or whatever. And then throughout the game you'll unlock elemental power. So you have, let's see if I remember, water, fire, water which beats fire, fire which beats life or like plants, plants which beat earth, earth which beats lightning, and lightning which beats water. And so you can use those to kind of gain an edge on certain opponents and stuff like that, and do stronger attacks. There's also going to be a crit system, but that's based on a skill, so that won't really show up here. Then you have health, you have HP, health points, and then MP, magic points. The magic controls the elemental. And then obviously health is your life, so if you lose all your health, you die. And then the other thing is items. So there's items that can restore MP, can restore health, and items that you can use to deal damage. Things like that that you'll find in the overworld, maybe through puzzles and whatnot. I don't know yet. I haven't fully fleshed it out. I do have a story in mind. It's similar. It's not really like anything. It's just kind of its own story. It's nothing great, grandiose. There's not other party members because this is just my solo game, so I don't really want to spend time working on that. It's going to be super, super long. But it does have a story that I think will be good and will be able to introduce everything. And yeah, so that's kind of it. Let me give you another look at that UI because it only lasts like 7 seconds right now because I don't have it all set up. You see the enemy health over on the right, and then you can see the player health and magic up at the top. Like I said, the block right, and then you have the radial menu, which will pop up into smaller menus. Then you can select your attacks and things like that. And then, of course, the enemies will be on a timer. And yeah, that's kind of the gist of the game. Yeah, so that's my RPG game. It's called Mighty RPG. I made an RPG when I was first learning programming, like way back in the day. I did like a camp for kids that was like programming in C++, and so I learned C++ there. And one of the final things I did was make like a little mini RPG. It was so bad, no story. It was just like you go grind up your skills and then you beat monsters and then you win. and it was based on like a TI-84 calculator RPG thing that I had found way a long time ago. I don't even know what it's called. You like fight a cockroach or something like that, and so I called it Mighty RPG because this is the thing. And so throughout the years, I've made several like projects attempting to like redo that. So this is kind of the latest attempt at that, but this is like the most over the top version. They've all been like ASCII art text RPGs because that was what the original was. So this is the first time I'm actually kind of taking it seriously, I suppose. But yeah. Oh, and the other thing I should note is this is ideally going. I don't want to use the word open world. Open world implies like you're going around and doing this huge exploration and climbing on things and stuff like that, because that's what a lot of open world games have been. But it is open world in the loosest definition, which is simply that you don't have any loading screens. You don't go into separate rooms and areas. I plan to have everything laid out in one big area, all interconnected. And like you can see with the battles, you don't go into a battle sequence. The other enemies around you pause, and the enemy that you're fighting goes into like a battle sequence to fight you. Right? And so it's just in the overworld. And in fact, right now I just have the enemies basically, they initiate a battle, they wait a certain amount of time, and then they kill themselves. But, you know, theoretically, you'll kill an enemy and then you'll keep walking and go on the adventure and everything like that. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say right now about the game. I'm working on it in my free time, so don't expect any big updates anytime soon. But yeah, it's a fun little project, and I can't wait to see where it goes.